So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Eazy Conversations. Thanks a lot to everyone who listened to the last episode featuring the homie Matt and I. I hope you enjoyed listening to our full random recommendations episode, and we gave you quite a few movies, TV shows, and albums to take in over the last few weeks. So now for episode 100 of Eazy Conversations, the Century Club. I'm extremely excited, of course, to be back in the studio virtually with the homie Matt. Say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? We're finally here. I think I've mentioned this episode like in the intro of the last 10. It's exciting, actually.
Yeah.
Not a lot of podcasts hit 100. It'd be a really cool episode, I think, tonight, like where we incorporate things we've done in the past, do like mini segments. Anyways, I'll let you continue, Eric, but like I want to keep talking more about like hitting the milestone in a second.
Well, yeah, so that's basically going to be the first segment that we'll be doing for this episode. So, yeah, for our 100th episode of Eazy Conversations, first of all, thank you so much again to everyone who listens to the pod, supports it, talks about it. We really appreciate it, and makes me very happy to hear whenever I hear that someone's enjoying what we're putting out there for you all. So, thank you very much before we get into it. And yeah, it was a tough one to figure out what we wanted to do, first of all, topic-wise. For the 100th one, it couldn't just be like a random, like, all right, we're going to go over this movie series for this episode. We do that enough for any other episode. So I think the way we decided to go about it for this one is really representative of the whole pod and of ourselves. So we're going to be going over thoughts on the pod, the first 100, then into the next 100, and just... We're going to go over a few things, but the first one will be, like I said, the journey to 100. So, opening thoughts for me personally on our first 100 episodes and what it means to get to 100. It's been a journey. Like, it's going to be 5 years of doing the pod in March, which is still a little ways away. But it's been, and the first sentence I wrote down for this was, like, one of the things that I liked a lot in the early days was the grind of getting guests on the pod. Because when it was just me for those first around 25 episodes, it was definitely harder because I always had to go out there and find someone to come on the pod. And I did want to consistently put out episodes. Like, I wasn't as consistent as we are right now, Matt, because it was hard at times to get guests. But that's also something I enjoyed a lot. And now, like, I'm very happy that it's like way easier now that we just, if we don't get a guest, just us two, and then it's like automatic, we know what we're doing, and we come up with good ideas and have great conversations, the two of us. But when it was just me, like, that was a big thing where I would always reach out to people and be like, hey, do you want to talk about this? Like, I'd come up with an idea that they could be the expert and I could just ask questions. And yeah, it was a bit of a different vibe when I was like kind of going more interview style, and now we're fully into the easy conversations where we just talk. So that's been a transition for sure that I've seen. So that would be my first point on the first 100 episodes personally. The grind.
Well, you said a lot of good things there, Eric. First of all, I remember when when Eazy Conversations first came out, and you had a different guest every episode. I'm like, I knew it was coming eventually. I was like, well, he's gonna ask every cousin to appear on, so or almost every cousin, and it's like my turn's gonna be up soon. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to go on talk about movies or something. Mm-hmm. So there was always that in the back of my mind. I'm an avid podcast listener, and when you started it, Eric, I'll be honest, I was like, oh, it's probably like most podcasts don't survive past 10 episodes. You know, they start, it's like sitcoms on TV. You know, they get canceled right away, or the podcaster loses interest. Mm-hmm. But then like you kept going strong, and I think I was in the 20s, I believe.
No, you were in 18? The teens.
18, right?
I think 14, to be honest. I have to go back, but in the teens for sure.
Okay.
I think 14.
Yeah, actually, I was just telling a coworker about my podcast actually, and he was shocked that I had been doing it so long. And I'm like, well, my cousin's been doing it longer, and he was on every episode. He's on every episode, obviously. But yeah, to me, Eric, different. That was a different Matt back then that you interviewed in 2017. 2017 it was.
18.
Or 2018 March. You just said that, yeah. Like I was a totally different person. So it's weird looking back. Like I think I'll listen back one day and be like, oh, that was a time of my life there, and I was doing this at this. But it's a good time capsule, is what I'm saying. It's gonna be great memories. But no, like a lot of podcasts I listen to don't make it that long to 100. So Eric, like, congratulations, you do all the he does all the heavy lifting, folks. He's the architect of this podcast. I just show up. I tell people that I work. I'm like, it's not my podcast, it's my cousin's podcast. I'm just the co-host. I just show up, and we think of the topics together, which is nice actually to have. Like, right, Eric? Like, it alleviated a lot of stress. I know when I came on board. Correct? Like that
for
was
sure.
like
And
like the
just gonna say, like, thank you for the compliments. I don't see it that way. Like, I see it as our podcast, like, together. That, of course, I did start, but 100% very collaborative effort, and it does make it a lot easier that it's two of us now who come up with ideas. Like, for this one, these are all, like, I had similar thoughts for this, but you gave the structure for the episode, and has been the case quite often. So I do like how we bounce off each other with ideas. Like, you'll have an idea, and then I'll suggest a little tweak on it, and vice versa, and always come up with the best product together. Yeah.
But I was also gonna say, Eric, like, it's a lot of work to do a podcast, and your consistency, your thrive to be consistent, your drive to be consistent is very, like, admirable, really, because I see a lot of podcasters burn out, and like, you put in a lot of hard work. Most people don't realize how much work. It's not just like showing up and talking. You got to think about it throughout the week. Like, you know what the topic is. Now you need to think about what you're going to talk about. It's not always easy. Like, now I'm more comfortable, obviously more comfortable, but like at the start I was kind of, the day before I was like thinking like, hey, what am I going to say? Like, it's very hard, and the fact that that we both reached 100.
Yep.
I think it's quite an accomplishment. It's something I would like tell some in an interview, like, tell me something about yourself, or, you know, something, one of your hobbies on the side, because reaching 100 episodes is no small feat. Maybe only 5% of podcasts reach it, you know. It's awesome. And I never, like, at the start, I never in a million years would have thought you would have done 100 episodes. That's just because most podcasts don't reach 100, right? So
Yeah, I'd probably be lying if I said I knew or thought I would reach like the 100, right? Like, you never know. There was a lot of hiatuses too, where it'd go months without dropping an episode, and I not rebranded, but like said that I was gonna drop every 2 weeks a few times, and it just didn't happen. It wasn't the case, and I am very proud of the 100th episode. And like every one that we do, I'm extremely proud. And like you said, like, it's not really easy to make it to 100. Longevity, like, there is a lot of work behind the scenes. Like, editing the pod too is definitely a sneaky big task that goes with the pod. That's like the length of the episode of like that you're hearing, and then some, right? Because there's a lot of pause and cutting up stuff as well. They're trying to make us sound as good as possible. But I enjoy it, and it's like you said, it's a great hobby and something that's just, it's fun to do. Like, it's not work. Though I said, like, it is work in a sense, but it's not at the same time. Like, it's the easiest job to be paid for full time, I would say. And I mean, another thing too is like, when I think of the journey here to 100 as well, like the promoting aspect, that especially when I used to go into the office, like that was a big part of my personality at work. Like, I was the podcast guy. Like, some people literally, obviously they knew my name, but I remember there's one coworker of mine who'd always come up to me like, podcast. Like, that's just, those are interactions. Just, I don't think he ever listened, but he knew that I had a podcast. And I would just go around like, oh, episode's dropping. Episode 6 is dropping next Monday. Check it out. And it was a lot of fun. I'm sure annoying to some people, but thank you to all who bore with me and took all those bi-weekly Snapchats that I would send just promoting the pod. I've definitely eased up on that. That is something that in the last months, if not year, honestly, I've definitely toned down, because I'm sure it is annoying to always get snaps saying the pod's out. But that being said, thanks. Whenever we post on social media, the likes and the comments are always appreciated. And yeah, like, another thing I want to know for the, not already going to skip ahead to the next 100, but one thing that I did want to pose to the listeners was, like, we record every episode, the video, but I don't post them all on YouTube, and I do wonder. I would like to know if people watch them on YouTube and would want all episodes on there going forward. I'm gonna post this one for sure. Episode 100, gotta put it up on the tube. But I would be interested to hear if anyone right now is listening and watches on YouTube or doesn't, just pause, let us know, and then we'll just take that feedback and work with it constructively. So, yeah, that would be my other comment on the journey, was like the promoting and yeah.
That's awesome. I was right before you started talking about, I was gonna bring up a point, but it completely flew out of my head. But I was just gonna say, like, oh yeah, like throughout these 100 episodes, Eric, like I've definitely had times where I was like not really feeling it in terms of like, oh, you know, when you have a busy week, but like you always motivated me, and your consistency motivated me to like just suck it up sometimes and stop being a whip and like just power through it. Like a lot of times, like basically, you know, like during COVID, when COVID started, and I was living by myself and I was working on nights, and it was like, I gotta, but like you're just like, no, we're doing it, point final, and then I'm like, all right, you know what, F it. We're doing it, good. And you know what? While doing it was the best. I was so glad. I'm so glad, like, you just didn't, you know, that we just were consistent every 2 weeks, basically. Yeah. So
that's a good point. And honestly, first of all, I never got the sense that you didn't want to do episodes. Other than that, you're right. Like the start of COVID was kind of that could have been a point where we slowed down a bit, but we didn't. I'm glad that was the case. But, and then after that, we always rolled. And me too, like I for sure had a lot of days where like I was like, all right, I had a big day at work and now got to find some energy for the pod. But then whenever we'd both show up, it was like we're both energized and feed off each other. And then you couldn't tell that or maybe you could if you're listening. You're like, oh, Eric doesn't have it tonight or something. I don't know. But like I always felt like, all right, let's go. Second wind and let's roll. And we always did. We're ready to roll when it mattered. It's like when I have an 11 o'clock hockey game, I'm gassed at 9:45, but then when you get to the rink, you're just ready to roll. So that's how I would compare it. Podcasting is an amateur sport in its own right.
Absolutely. Like,
go ahead.
You guys just be mentally tough. Like, you can be like, you can't just wing it. I found that early on. I can't just wing it. I have to like think about, like, formulate my thoughts, or else nothing's gonna come out. But do we want to look at like what the next?
One last point that I just thought of in talking about preparation, like what you're gonna say next and all that. So one thing that I used to do a lot more in the early days, and early days could be like as high as like in episodes maybe 50 or 60. I don't remember when I stopped, but I used to prepare way more in terms of writing down notes and things that I wanted to say in long form, not like full on scripts there, but I did have, like, when I prepared like what I was going to say about a movie, I would write long thoughts, and then I had some lines that I knew I was going to say. Now I don't do that as much, like, at all. I write little things that I don't want to forget, but I don't write as many like more elaborate notes than I did before. And I'm glad that's the case, honestly, because now it makes it more organic, and not that it wasn't before. But when you go in with like cheat sheet or something there, you're coming in with an advantage. And so that's a change that's happened for sure in over these 100 episodes. And it would be weird if nothing had changed, right? Like you said that you're not the same person that you were when you recorded. It was episode 14. I just went back. So that was released January 14th, 2019. It's great that we're both not the same people that we were when we did that episode, and like 20 episodes later. And like you said, they're time capsules, and that's another reason why I'm very proud of the pod, is I could go back and listen to an episode from 2020, early COVID days, and see where we were at back then. So
yeah, well said, Eric. Time capsule memories, and we're gonna create more. Like we're not stopping after 100. We're at 100, so I'm excited because I know we're gonna come up with like crazy new ideas. Like I love your like the Disney versus Pixar, like Coliseum-esque battle, like,
Yeah.
and like the movie draft we did, like with casting our own movie, stuff like that. I feel like I'm gonna like research more and listen to more podcasts and try to steal like some good ideas from them. And I just think we can come up. There's the possibilities are endless, right? Like we always think, hey, who thought of that idea first? It's such a simple idea. I feel like we can come up with like a good thing that we haven't done yet. So that's exciting. So yeah, I guess all this to say, like, the listeners, you guys can look forward to like more like unique episodes, we'll call them, you know, where we're trying new ideas and hopefully they work.
Yeah.
And bring back some old favorites too, eh?
Of course. For things that I would want to do in future episodes, like, you're right, I also want to keep coming up with and or stealing concepts from other podcasts for our own episodes. One thing that would be cool, I think, I don't know how exactly we'd go about this, but just more listener engagement and perhaps even incorporating that differently in our own episodes rather than, because we do a lot of posting a question via poll on Instagram and then we tally up results and go over listener answers. But I wonder if there'd be a different way that we could maybe get, like, I don't know if it'd be going about like a radio format where we just have, all right, we got a caller coming in and like who knows who it is, like we pull up on Instagram, I don't know, like something like that where it could be more interactive. Just thought of that. That'd be fun because I always do love when people reply to the stories and all that, but I just want to change it up how we include them in episodes. So that'd be something to think about. Yeah.
So like live interaction. I love
Perhaps.
that. I never thought. I didn't even think of that actually. Even just like if someone's like a live chat, like just like text messages. Wow, what they'd have to.
Yeah. So it'd be tricky to figure out, but
Yeah,
like it'd be cool to have a live component, and or it could be like they submit a video or something and we don't listen to it until we do the live recording ourselves, then play the recording, like something like that, and then engage with it or something. I remember one episode, this was a while ago, one of the early days, like episode 7. It was me, Sarah, and Gus, and then I called Mart in the episode, and he asked us a question, and then I hung up on him before he heard our answers, so that he would have to listen to the pod to hear our answers. It didn't really go over well with him, but it was an interesting way to engage listeners and just, a different way to create content. So something like that, maybe less offensive to the people who engage with us.
Also, maybe like get the missing cousins on the podcast. Or like my sister's never been.
There's a lot of people,
maybe like
for sure.
You said Dylan, I don't think would want to do it, but we can keep bugging him till he does. Maybe
the ball
my
is
dad,
in his
I know
court
my
at
dad's
this point.
Yeah, maybe my mom or my girlfriend actually, but she never stops talking, so it might be a 3-hour podcast. And I say that lovingly, but yeah, it'd be a long podcast. I don't know where to continue with that thought.
But no, that's something like get different guests. Like I wrote that down, right? Like that's something I'd want to do. Yeah. While obviously bringing back fan favorites is always nice, I would want to get some different people on here too, and even reaching out to people we don't know and like putting ourselves out there to get people from like I don't know, like any sort of up and coming. I don't know if business is the way we want to go, but like something local. That's been suggested to me often that we should try to branch out and like, interview people who are on the come up or something like that. That's definitely something that I'll just be honest with is definitely more intimidating than getting someone we know, because there's like our platform is what exactly, I don't know, and then there'd definitely be more pressure in a pod like that, but we've done 100 of these. It might be the time to take that next step and be something to consider for sure. Who would it be? I'm not sure, but might have to start becoming more open to that.
Yeah, I get it. Requires more work, but yeah, it's a good thought. I think your mom had that idea, but
yeah, she did.
Yeah. Do you want to start with the first mini segment? kick us off?
Yeah, we'll get into that right now. So yeah, we had speaking of, like, the first mini segment is based on a concept and format of a show that we did in the 80s, I believe, was our trivia episode. So this is something that we could even incorporate in other, not maybe not every episode there, but every now and then just quiz each other on a topic of our choosing or the topic of the episode. But this one has the topic. This episode is the 100 journey episode journey. So we chose a topic each. Mine was the Marvel Cinematic Universe that Matt will quiz me on. 5 questions. And Matt chose the Academy Awards. So I got 5 questions. I actually have 6 for you, Matt. I don't know if these are hard or easy, so we'll see.
I got 6 too, actually.
Okay, it might just be 6 then. So, I can ask you your first question if you would like to be the first one to answer. So, Academy Awards. First question. Who has won the most Best Supporting Actor awards all time?
Man or women?
Man. So, Best Supporting Actor, just men for this one.
Is it... I think this is an older actor. Is it Walter Brennan?
That is correct. Good job.
Yes. I know he won 3. He's an old school actor.
I don't have the number. I think it was more than 3, to be honest.
4 maybe? Okay.
Actually, you know what? No, I think you're right. I think it was 3.
Yeah.
Good job.
Awesome.
I have no idea who this is, and I thought it was a funny name. I was like, all right, let's throw this one in there. Good job.
Thank you. I thought you told me DC trivia, so I got D. No, I'm just joking.
Okay, I was going to say, my God, this would be ugly.
In Black Adam, what is... I start from, like, easier questions to harder ones. So, in the MCU, on what planet can you find the Soul Stone?
Okay, that's, Vormir. Final answer.
Correct.
Let's go.
Correct.
All right. So my initial second question is gonna become my 6th one because it's kind of tough. So I'm gonna go, actually this one's not easy either.
It's okay, I want to be tested.
This is tough. All right. Who hosted the 2016 Academy Awards?
That is tough. Hold on, I'm going to try to think what won in 2016. I believe it was like Moonlight, and the La La Land Moonlight screw up. Unless you're doing 2016 and it's for the year before.
Yeah, so it's for the year before.
Okay.
So 2016 is for the 2015 movies.
2015. So 2015, it was what won Best Picture? Spotlight, I believe. Who was hosting that year? I'm trying to think who announced. I'm just gonna go like Chris Rock.
That's correct.
Yes.
Good job, man. Let's go.
Okay. Sweet. All right, my question, number 2. What state did Star-Lord grow up in?
Oh, what state? Frig. Okay.
Yeah.
This is your second easiest one. That's tough.
Maybe,
Okay, so I'm thinking Indiana is the first thing that came to mind. I'm not 100% sure. It's something like that. Like it's Midwest or something. Frig.
Wait.
Indiana or... Yeah, I'm just going to go Indiana. That's all I got. Indiana.
Final answer?
Yeah.
No, it's wrong.
What is it?
Missouri.
Yeah, I could have got there, but I just didn't know that. So I didn't have the lucky Chris Rock guess energy there. Good job.
I just think back to Infinity War when he's having that scene and he's like, I'm from Missouri, and he's like, is that like they have a whole conversation on it. But that is a sleeper reference. So
no, that's all good. I won't forget that one now.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So next one for you will be, what is the highest grossing rated R film to win Best Picture?
Oh, great question. Damn. Just let me think for 10 seconds. I'll just go with, like, honestly, just the first movie that popped in my head, Silence of the Lambs.
Final answer?
Final answer. Yeah.
No, so it was Gladiator.
Ah, nice. Okay. All right, Eric.
Let's even the score here.
Who is the bad guy in Thor 2?
Nice. I know. I honestly had a feeling you were gonna ask me this. I didn't prep. I just know this. Malekith.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. That's one that you want to know his name just to make references to because he's such a random villain and sucks. So I just always have that one locked and loaded. Let's go. Okay. So next one for you will be, which movie won the most awards in the 2019 ceremony?
Oh, shit. So 2018 movie. Which movie won the most awards? I know it's not the movie that won Best Picture, that's for sure. I'm just thinking. I know, like, the listeners are like, did we cut out?
Oh, I'm gonna cut out some of this silence.
I'm just thinking of, like, Nolan movies or Denis Villeneuve movies or giant, like, spectacles like that. 2018. My brain's a little foggy right now too, but damn, it's a good question. I don't know, like, I'm not gonna get this one right. Like, maybe like Dunkirk or something like that. Probably didn't even come out that year. What's the movie, Eric?
It is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
Won 4 awards. I'm assuming all technical.
And Rami Malek.
Did he win?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
well, good for him.
Nice. All right. Which eye did Thor lose?
Okay, that's 50-50. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's his left eye. He's down over the balcony. She lifts his head up. I'm going to go left eye, final answer.
No, it's the right eye.
Damn, I was so
Google it if
confident
you
about
want.
that. I could visualize the left. Anyways, that's, what are you going to do? It's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, I triple checked too. You were so sure of yourself. Damn. You made me question my research to find the answer.
Okay, so you have another one for me? We're going to do 6?
Yeah, I have 6.
Or, we've asked 4 so far.
We've done 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
High score.
which film series has received the most nominations at the Academy Awards all time?
I gotta go with Lord of the Rings. Final answer.
It's a good guess. It is Star Wars, actually.
Damn it, because
38
there's 4 of them,
nominations.
therefore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, shit, I answered too fast. Damn it. Good question.
I did think
Okay.
Lord of the Rings would creep
Yeah.
into the mind.
All right. I'll save my really tough one for last. but
Okay.
Question 5. From which Infinity Stone did Carol Danvers get her power from?
Okay, that's yes. I don't want to pull a U here and answer too hastily, so I'm just gonna make sure. Tesseract, Space Stone, final answer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good job, Eric.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Tesseract low key's been involved in a lot of action, like Avengers movie, Captain Marvel. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's in Captain America: First Avenger as well.
Yeah.
It shows up in a couple too. Infinity War. Okay, last question. This was initially, like I said, the second one I wrote. So for this one, we'll be looking for two names. Can you name me two of the five actors nominated for Best Actor in 2010? So these would be for 2009 movies, of course.
Okay, so
Two actors nominated for Best Actor in 2010.
yeah, so I think Jeremy Renner was nominated for Hurt Locker, and damn it, 2009. Should I just name actors that are always nominated?
I mean, it's one way to go about it.
What what else came out that year, 2009? Damn, just when you think, I think I know like so much. There's so much more to like learn and. All right, let's just do some guesses here. I only get two though. No, I can only name one more name. Oh, damn it.
Well, if Jeremy Renner is a final answer, you only have one left. Yes.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner's the final answer. I have a strong feeling, and the only two movies I can think of from that year are like Avatar and Hurt Locker. Let's throw a. I don't want to take forever either. Let's throw a Anthony Hopkins. No, that's not what my mind. Oh, okay. I'll guess Denzel Washington. Final answer.
So yeah, Jeremy Renner was corrected. Denzel, unfortunately, was not.
Oh.
You got Jeff Bridges from
Oh.
Crazy Heart, George Clooney in Up in the Air, Colin Firth, A Single Man, and Morgan Freeman in Invictus would have been the other options.
Fuck, Jeff Bridges. I know Crazy Heart. Oh, damn it.
I thought you were gonna get
Question,
Bridges, to be honest. I had a feeling.
I know, and I thought of him, but I'm like, when did Crazy Heart come out? 2011? Like, I wasn't thinking 09. Good question, Eric.
Yeah,
I love questions like that. All right. Well, I got a hard one.
All right, good.
Well, maybe it's super easy. Can you name all the members of Thanos' Black Order?
Okay, that is tough. I probably can't, but I'm gonna try. So we got my guy Ebony Maw. I 100% don't know the name of the big guy. And then
Okay.
there's the girl is oh man. I knew these names back in the day when Infinity War
Okay.
and Endgame was more popular than like current, but what's her name? I want to get at least one more here. Ebony Maw. Nightshade or something like that. Like that's part of one of their names, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I can't get them right now.
Okay, so the big guy is Cull Obsidian.
Never would have gotten that.
Okay,
Never would
The
have
girl. The girl is Proxima Midnight.
gotten that. Proxima Midnight, damn.
Yeah.
And then the guy,
Yeah.
now I kind of, oh my god. Proxima
Corvus.
Midnight and Corbin,
Corvus.
is it something like that? Like Corvus.
Corvus.
Corvus Glade, is that not it? Corvus Glade?
Glaive, yeah. Corvus Glaive.
Okay, close enough. I'll take that.
Give you 0.25 of a point there, but I think you
No,
got-
that's
I
that's
think
no
you won,
point.
though.
No point.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get 0.5 for the Jeremy Renner now? Is that how we're playing it?
Pretty much.
No, good stuff.
Yeah.
That's a tough question.
All right.
Corvus Glaive, yeah. Proxima Midnight, I knew that, but that Obsidian, never would have gotten that.
Yeah, right? Me neither.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. So yeah, we're good to go on to our next segment, which was another one we've done with our former guest Curtis. 5 would you rather questions. I'm gonna dive into the first one for you, Matt. very mature question on my part. Would you rather have extremely loud farts that don't smell or silent farts that smell terrible? Which way are you leaning?
The second one, silent farts that smell terrible because I can pass it off on someone else.
Yeah,
Easy choice.
it is easy choice for sure. For some reason, I thought you were gonna go loud and proud, but now I'm also gonna go silent but deadly in this situation. Easy to just pawn them off to the peasants around you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my first question.
All right, my first question. If 86-year-olds are trying to kill you, no, I'm just joking. No more questions
Okay.
like that. Okay, so would you rather eat only vegetables for the rest of your life or meat?
Hmm.
You can only like eat that food group.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, like you need the protein, but then you could probably get substitutes out of the veggies for your meat. Like, be a big bean guy. Um, just meat. No veggies. I need veggies in there. Like, too much meat is not a good thing, right? Like, you're constantly eating meat. I'm gonna go veggies. Become a vegetarian. Save. Also good for the planet, for the environment. I'm gonna go veggies. Not to shame anyone who would choose meat in this situation.
Yeah.
But,
Like me, yeah. I would pick meat and just suffer.
Nice. Okay, so my next one. Would you rather live on a beach-like setting, making just the right amount of money to live a modest life, or have a high earning job living in a fast-paced environment such as New York or London, where you're always on the go, but you're making bank? And in this other scenario, you're like not a beach bum, but you're just like living a very chilled out life, like on a resort-esque situation, but just making enough to survive.
A year ago, 2 years ago, I would have answered option B, but I'm gonna pick option A, the beach, because I've lived in the country now for like over half a year, and that's kind of the vibe you were describing, and that's 100% what I want. Like less stress. I can just sip my drinks on the beach and explore, and like I the high fast like the fast paced high life, like rich like that. And I'm realizing it's not all that great. Like when I lived near the city, like it was always like busy stuff going on, lights on all the time. Like it's not all that great cut out to be like. It's not a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of negatives to living in the city. So like I'm loving the country life right now. So I'm picking option A, which kind of reminds me of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would also go with that. Honestly, I do feel like you said, it's not all that it's cut out to be. Making all this money, like probably way more stress. I would imagine it's night and day in terms of the stress levels, and like especially with the years of COVID, we've realized like what's more important. Especially like, now that we've been able to take more time for ourselves and not that we really like me having to go into work and all that. Like it wasn't really fast paced, extremely stressful environment, but it's nice to be able to be more chilled out and make enough money to live, but not have to always be delving into the like extravagant lifestyle that's not necessary for a happy life. Like a lot of those people who make that kind of money and are running around at all times, like probably aren't as happy as people who just make enough and like in this situation anyway. So I'm going option A as well.
Awesome.
Be like some sort of beach bum, Matthew McConaughey-esque. Be chill and just work the tiki bar.
Awesome. So, okay, would you rather live in a world where aliens exist or in a world where they don't?
Well, if they come in peace, I'm going aliens exist. It'd be cool if we could somehow interact with extraterrestrial forms of beings. Yeah, I would definitely choose inclusive with the aliens.
Okay.
See what they've been up to, what kind of technology they have, and if it could also better our life on Earth, that'd be awesome. So I'm going aliens for sure.
Yeah, same here. Just I'm too curious. Like, yeah, you're taking a risk, but like,
Yeah.
no, I have to know exactly. No, good answer.
So my next one is: would you rather give up drinking alcohol or coffee for the rest of your life?
Well, no, I'd easily give up drinking alcohol over coffee. Coffee just stimulates me a lot in the morning. Like, it's how I survive my work day. And I've gone like without drinking for weeks on end. Like I could do it. No, need the coffee. That's
Mm-hmm.
a no brainer.
I agree with you in the sense that I feel like right now I need the coffee. I definitely don't need alcohol. I'm actually on like a sober November situation. I feel great. I don't miss drinking at all. But I do love having like a couple of drinks to either celebrate an occasion, like have fun with friends. Like it obviously amplifies your senses and just like if at in a party setting, like I it's been rare that I haven't been drinking, so I feel like I'd be missing out on that. And
Right.
I would give up coffee, to be honest. I love coffee, but I feel like I would adapt and become a tea drinker. I didn't say no caffeine. I'd probably still need some sort of substitute,
Okay.
but I would keep the alcohol around just for those situations there. That obviously aren't. I don't drink alcohol as often as I drink coffee, obviously there, but it'd be nice to still have.
Nice.
But I'm glad that that's not the case for me right now. That I have to choose between the two.
All right. So my next one is: would you rather? You have to give up one basically. You either have to give up playing hockey for the rest of your life, or watching
Mm.
hockey for the rest of your life.
That's tough. Like, I play hockey like almost pretty much once a week. I do love it, but I do watch more hockey than I play.
Okay.
And like fantasy hockey, we've been over this in the fall episode.
Yeah.
While it sucks, I would probably give up playing, to be honest, because it's such a big part of my life. Like watching and talking about hockey, I'd be yeah. I have a lot of hobbies too, so I'd you know suck it up and get other ones to replace hockey. Become
Yeah.
a squash player. There's other options
Yep.
out there. You?
Yeah, that might have been an easy one, but yeah, I picked the same as you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather skydive or bungee jump?
Oh, skydive. Just lasts longer, more of a thrill, I bet you. And yeah, no, skydive. Just because it lasts longer, it looks more fun.
Yeah, I agree. It does look more fun. Bungee jumping looks terrifying, and like
Yeah.
you're relying on that rope or whatever it is, that spring to just launch you back in the sky there. But what if like in the probably a 1 in a million odds that it doesn't work as intended? Like that'd be a terrible way to go. Whereas I feel like skydiving, you have so much time to be like, all right, this chute ain't opening. Like you're done. Like all right, well, come to peace with it, which is probably like 100% inaccurate. But I think skydiving would be way sicker. If anyone's seen Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, Secretary Fox flying through the air, the boys Harold and Kumar just swimming in the air, it looks like a ton of fun. I'm going skydiving all day. I want to do that one day. Like that's on the list for sure.
Nice. All right. Would you rather act in a Star Wars movie or Lord of the Rings movie?
Mm,
And you get a supporting role.
okay.
But
That's a good
speaking
question
role.
again.
Yeah.
Um, being a Jedi would be pretty sick. Like Lord of the Rings, as much as I love it, probably one of my favorite trilogies of all time. It is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. There's a lot of other content like it in the sense of like the fantasy world, medieval style, like swords and all that, and I love all that stuff. But Star Wars, I feel like is such a unique universe and kind of tough to pass up. Give me a red lightsaber, put me in
Of
the mix with
course.
some Jedi, and let's have some fun, some good Mustafar esque saber action. I'm going Star Wars. What about you?
Star Wars too, but I love like I want to be a Jedi. Give me a red lightsaber. You're gonna be an Inquisitor, is what you're gonna be. Like that's awesome, Eric. No, Star Wars for sure. I want to be like a stormtrooper, like one of the, like a common soldier that has like maybe a clone. That's what I. Oh, I
Okay,
can't be a
okay.
clone. Never mind. That was, but yeah, Star Wars for sure.
True, yeah, I kind of jumped the gun there saying I want to be a primary Sith Lord. I'd be fine with being like a Padawan. I don't need to be the star and can just be like I've been the supporting actor in a couple of movies, so that's
Yeah.
right in my wheelhouse. So my last question, Matt, is: would you rather rock a man bun or shave your head completely?
Shave my head completely.
Okay.
I think I could pull off the shaved head and like the bigger, bushier beard look. I think that's what I'm gonna end up looking like anyway, Derek. So awesome. Seriously.
You could also rock the man bun, like man bun beard combo. You could do. I'm gonna go man bun honestly because especially for like playing hockey, get the flow going. Even though I said I'd give it up to watch it, but I'd go man bun. I am. I don't know how I would look with the shaved head to be honest. Hopefully, not coming soon. But it's whatever the universe tends to unfold as it should, and play the hand you're dealt. But no, I'm gonna go man bun in this situation. I also don't mind like when I have longer hair right now, and I like it. So, man bun would be like a more like it would have to be well maintained there and all that there. But
Right.
yeah, but I wouldn't willingly rock a man bun. Like that's
Okay.
not the path I'm looking to go down.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, my last one's kind of like philosophical and a little harder actually. But it's, would you rather? So in your life, would you rather have a pause button or a rewind button?
Mm.
Kind of like godlike powers.
So is this something you could do like at any time?
Yeah, like you're about to head into work. You can press pause, and then everyone's freezing, and you can go
Okay.
about and do whatever you want. But you can influence things around you, like move people around, or you can completely redo your day if you wanted.
I would rewind. Like just if anything
Rewind
goes
what?
wrong, you have an instant do over. Like that's what I would choose, and that's like you can't lose if you have a rewind button. Like anything that doesn't go your way, like okay, that's how it played out based on what I did or said or what that person did or said.
Yeah.
Let's tweak it a little bit. Like take two, and hope if it's like also if it's again an unlimited amount of rewinds, you literally can't lose. I feel like that's also a way to get rich quick, like lotto, and just run it back. You find out. It also depends like how far back can you rewind, right? But if it's just like in the near past, that'd probably be like make it a harder choice for me. But I'm still going rewind. I feel like that offers you more potential and possibilities.
I think rewind too, although you could get stuck into like an obsession of like you've redone the same day 80 times because you think it can get better and you like get stuck in a loop, a voluntary loop, and like maybe fate intervening and the same outcome always happens and you just have to live with it. Pause button would be cool. You can get like so much done. You could literally like get so much done in 1 second, and then just press play, and your meal's already planned and cooked.
That's
your
true.
house is clean already, and it's only like 7 a.m. But yeah, you would feel those effects. You would still be tired because you moved around for 6 hours.
Right.
It's just time stood still, right? So,
True.
and would you age faster because you technically your body moved around. Anyways, really interesting question. I thought I found.
It is.
Yeah, good answer. I'd go and rewind too, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so that's another good segment, just knocked out. We're going to the next one now. So bringing it back to, again, something we've done in episodes 40 and 60, I believe. So, well, actually, no, that's going to be later. But just 5 things that you didn't know about us, which we kind of did go over in a few episodes, like Get to Know Your Hosts.
Yeah.
So this would be, this is tough for me to come up with stuff that is unknown. Like I'm sure a lot of people will know some of these things that I'm telling you now, but like it should be news to a lot of people too. One thing, like the first thing that I thought of right away was when I was in grade 9, I got 16 detentions for trying to skip school. That was a poor attempt where me and my friend Cameron So I called the school pretending to be his mom, saying that I was staying at their house and we were not feeling well and we wouldn't go to school. And that did not fool the authorities whatsoever, and ended up getting called when we were on our way to the mall. Like 30, not even 30 minutes had passed since we had been dropped off at school and then left. And then when Cameron's dad drove us back to school, we were greeted by the principal, vice principal, my teacher, and the secretary or the administrative assistant. And you should have seen like the looks these people were giving us. Was like we had like committed the greatest crime of all time. And I felt so bad too. Like my parents were away for the weekend at a hockey tournament, so tough look for me. But it's just funny now looking back, and it didn't even take that long for it to become funny. Honestly, it's yeah. And then the walk of shame back into class. I remember grade 9 chemistry class. Just walked in, everyone kind of knew like, oh, what happened? Like, where were you? Like, they were calling you at the principal's office like the whole morning. So it was like one of my only rebellious moments as a kid. So yeah, that'd be the first thing. 16 detentions. So it was 4 detentions for every class that we tried to skip. And Cameron was in grade 8. So he had, if not 6, like 8 classes. So him, it was like twice as many detentions as me. And this was late in the year too. So we had to serve them. We were serving them like 2 at a time. So I had to stay during lunch and after school. It was rough times. So yeah. Don't try to skip school. Or do it. It's like, why not? It's pretty.
I don't have any awesome stories like that. And I just have more like fun facts, like stuff like that. Just
that's a fun.
I don't
fact.
think many people know. Yeah, that's like a good story you tell. Like mine are just like fact, like just like my first one is I was born 6 weeks premature, and I have mild asthma, so just because of that. So yeah, that's my first one.
Okay.
No need to elaborate on that.
Well, my next one would also again be school related. I had to go to summer school in grade 11 because I forget if it's because I didn't get a good enough. I definitely didn't fail the math class, but it's because my grade wasn't good enough, so I had to bump it up. So I had to go to summer school in grade 11 for math, and I did not belong in this group. Like I'm definitely someone who did well in school by large, and that math class just gave me a tough time. No shame in that. But like I was with like hooligans in that summer class, and anyways, I'm sure they're all great people.
Gotcha.
Actually, one of the guys there, I ended up like becoming kind of friends with him, and one day I gave him a ride home, and at the end of summer school, he like, I don't remember if he wanted to like stay in touch or something. I was like, no, like I'm not trying to still be friends with this guy. And then in grade 12, first day of school, he went to my school now. Like he came over from the other school he was at before, which I forget where it was, but I saw him like, oh my God. And then he ended up becoming like a popular kid, and we're actually kind of not close now at all, but like it's all love when I see him kind of thing. And just funny seeing him again like at school after being in summer class, and I was like ashamed that I knew him from summer school and all that. So yeah. So yeah, summer school for the kid, grade 11.
I thought you were going to be like, and he appeared on our episode, blah, 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 and ended up being this guest.
Maybe down the road, who knows? He's a character, that's for sure.
Okay. Good story, Eric.
Yeah.
Awesome. My next one is just I don't think, must have been like 8 years ago, but I write down every movie I watched, obviously, and in 1 year, I watched my record, 741 movies.
Oh,
1 year.
wow.
More than
Holy.
2 a day.
Let's go.
On average. Yeah, that's all. It's pretty embarrassing, but
that's
like,
impressive.
It's my record, so I'll never break it again now. Like now I can barely watch one a day. Like I'm not even close to one a day, so it's all good.
Nice, man.
Yeah, it's when you have no life.
No, well, it's
Dive
stuff.
deep
Then
into
it's
cinema.
jet fuel for pods like this where you share facts.
Yeah, there you go.
All coming full circle. My next one is more of just like it is just a fact. It's I used to be scared of dogs. Like I was a big anti-dog guy, and it was 2 of my friends' dogs that kind of helped me get into the dog game. Shout out Cosmo and Bella, my friends' dogs. Um, and yeah, but before then, like I was even with them, I was kind of uncomfortable to be honest. Like when they'd run up to me, and I was always like, yeah, like it's all good. But deep down, like they could smell the fear off me. But now I love dogs. Like since Simba, he's somewhere around here and there. Love that dog. And yeah, so I've become a dog person now, but before I was not a dog person.
I think I remember that. I think I remember when you were young. You weren't. Yeah, that's cool. Uh, my next one is like I have absolutely zero tattoos or piercings. And I feel like I should have a tattoo because everyone else does, but like that's not gonna let me influence. I'm not gonna get peer pressured, so it'll come with time, Eric. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I mean, it's. I also don't have any tattoos and piercings. Same, no piercings. But yeah, I mean, it's. I feel like that's a preference thing, and shouldn't be peer pressure into it. There, it's if you want to, like, go for it. But that's. But no, there definitely are a lot of people who have some. It's a popular thing for sure. My next one would be, and I think this probably won't be the case down the road, like forever there, but despite doing the pod and being really good at like from like just a strength of mine at presentations, like I still get nervous for them every time I do a presentation, and I still got nervous to do pods like until not too long ago. Like now I'm not really nervous anymore, but before I was for sure still like had the nerves, and for presentations I still do though. Like it has not gone away, and that's something that in high school I was really good at, and like I said, still am now at work, but still like always nervous before them. And then as soon as you get going and it's that 10:30 puck drop or whatever time it starts at, then it's just like, all right, nerves out the window, let's go. But either unfortunately or fortunately, still nervous for them. So yeah.
Completely normal too, and yeah, me too, Eric. I'm the same, and I think you're way more like I'm like times 100, super nervous. But yeah, my next one is something I hate to admit, but like I probably never even said this out loud in my life. But like, okay, so we all like the listeners may know like I used to play Pokemon Go on my phone, the Android game, the phone game, and but what I failed to mention is I played it for like 5 years, very very competitively, like at a high level, which means playing it all the time, and spending upwards to like $140 a month to play this game because you can buy lots of items and it allows you to progress very quickly in the game and get a lot of good shit. So yeah, maybe for like a solid like maybe 2 years, like $140 a month on this game, which is ridiculous. Now I could have used that, like saved so much money, but yeah, that's something you didn't know about me.
Yeah, that is a lot. Like I would not have guessed that. Like that's what the game could require for like to be successful in it. But hey, like that's again, it's like lessons learned, and also I'm sure you were able to still save a lot of money, and you do need hobbies, right? And if that's something that you did and like that you spent money on, like I think that's fine, honestly. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But no, like it's definitely not a lot of money though per month. Like that's for sure.
It's ridiculous.
But there's a time in place, and or not place there, but yeah. It's, now that you got a mortgage, I don't think that flies anymore. So my last one is actually a very extremely recent fact. It's I have a cat now. So Andy and I adopted a kitten, less than a week ago now. It's been 4 days at the time of recording. So yeah, we got a kitty. She's a real cutie. Her name is Ovi, in honor of Alex Ovechkin, and we're big fans. And yeah, she's a lot of energy. It's fun to have a pet in the house as well. Like good life, like another presence. And she's like I find myself like laughing at a lot of things she does. Like like people find cats funny. Like I never really did, but now that I have a cat, I get it. It's something you gotta just have to understand. And I also feel like people who just say like they don't like cats, they're not really or maybe they are in some cases there, but I feel like a lot of times it's not really out of experience. It's just like a thing to do. But
Yeah.
when you have a cat and you're actually around one, they're so cute and like loving, and just not in the same way as a dog. Like a dog will always come to you first. A cat's attention or affection is more earned. Like Robert De Niro said in Meet the Parents. Forgot his name in the movie there, but
Jack.
Jack, yeah, nice. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, we have a kitty. It's she's super cute.
Wow.
And that's a fact that I'm sure many did not know about me.
Congratulations, Eric.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did see, like, I think on Snapchat.
Yeah.
I did see it online. Yeah. Awesome. My okay, my last one is totally like kind of a downer compared to what you just said. And we're not gonna talk about and discuss it because it could be a whole episode. But like, I do not believe in like heaven or hell or like an omniscient, like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's everyone has their belief system. Man, yeah, that's definitely something to talk about for a future episode as well.
For sure. For sure. I have lots of thoughts on that too, on
Okay.
religion actually. There you go, future episode, maybe if we want to depress everyone.
Well, it's like a philosophical conversation, right? We did intro to philosophy, then it could be advanced philosophy for the depressive. I don't know. Anyways, I'm just thinking out loud here, but all right, good stuff. So along the same lines, like I don't have 5, but I have a couple that I could rattle off as well there, which would be similar in the similar vein. 5 quirks about us that we have, like OCD isms. My first one is, this is something that I'm working on as well. I very much like and almost need things to go the way I have them in mind. Like I like to think I'm an easygoing person, but not really, to be honest. Like I always have like an idea of how I want things to go, and if they don't go that way, it's I get annoyed. So I have a ton of stories I could just share. I'm not going to there. It's stuff that's happened recently. I'm like, all right, I gotta chill. And yeah, so like an example, not store related, just like an example of a situation would be like getting to the airport. I like need to get to the airport early. I don't want to take a chance that something will happen either along the way or even through security. I also actually have had quite a few close calls of missing my flight. So that's where the fear comes from. It's not completely irrational. But like I'd rather be there like sitting in the terminal 3 hours in advance, just knowing that if something does happen, it's going to be because of the plane, not because of me or like a factor outside of my control. Like we're here, we're not missing our flight as long as it's on time or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's an example. Like I do like when things go the way I have in mind, but like I said, that's something that I am definitely working on. Just go with the flow more, and yeah. So that's it.
That's really one of mine is that. So I'll just eliminate it. One of mine was I always arrive early to all my appointments and like to work. So I just take that one away and give you my first one. But yeah, I totally get you, Eric. I'm the same. I have to be early. But my first one is like I'm a mild like clean freak, I guess you call it. Kind of, not like Monica Geller clean freak, but like just I like things organized and I like straight. And the older I get, the more it's been enhanced, I guess. And like I'm reading my list of 5, and it's really only like 3 things, and a couple of them are examples of mild clean freak and organization. Because like one on my list, I'm just gonna shorten my list, I guess.
Okay.
Is like when I shower, I always like shower and shave like in the precise same order. Like always right side of my face first. Always like the same. It's really weird. And then when I dry myself, I have a routine in the shower, routine. I don't know. Maybe that's normal. Maybe everyone does that. But like I'm very routine, OCD oriented. And yeah.
I didn't even think of that, but that's true. I always shave the same way, like right side first and work my way to the left. Like it's like something I never thought about, but that is true. I do think that that's probably something that most people do, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
And But then I also thought about, like, I know hockey players, like, we're both hockey players, like, put their equipment on a specific way. I never do for that. Like, I just, whatever shin pad or elbow pad I get, I just throw it on. Like, it does not have to be a specific order. But shaving, yeah, for sure. Always right side, right to left. My next one is, this is pretty random, but it's something that does bother me. It's when people ask a question via messenger or text and don't put a question mark. Like, I don't like that. It's it's first of all, it comes off as almost rude too. Like, maybe it's like being a polite person, just add the question mark. It comes off as more blunt in my opinion, and I don't know, it just bothers me. Can't explain it. I guess I just did. But yeah, question mark. If you ask me a question, just throw the question mark in there, please.
You're just like my girlfriend. She hates like bad grammar, bad punctuation, and like text message. It drives her nuts.
Well,
Like,
I don't really care about the grammar, to be honest. It's more like that specific scenario.
Okay, fair enough. One of my next one's like a quirk. Is I laugh way too hard at my own jokes, and I do it all the time. And like, I need to stop it because it's like I'm kind of influencing the audience. I think when I do that, like, they're kind of laughing with me, or they're making it look really awkward. So yeah, that's one of my quirks.
I mean, I think that's totally fair though. Like, I also laugh at my own jokes. It's good. I mean, that just fosters an environment where laughter is promoted, right? Like, you got to get the ball rolling, set the tone, and then others, if you build it, they will come situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get that. My next one again is text message related. I expect and almost need people to answer me when I ask a question on Messenger, specifically when it's for like organizing something. If I need, and I feel like this is totally fair, when I'm organizing something like to get people together and I'm asking people for, okay, which date works best for you, like I'm putting a poll together, and then people read it and don't vote, that annoys me. And then I message them individually, like, yo, vote on the poll. Like, we need your input here. So when I've done that like 2 days ago. So it does bother me. If I put the time in to organize something, I expect the bare minimum to be answered, which is answering whether or not you're available or like all that stuff. So yeah, that's a OCDism of mine. If you read the message, answer me somehow.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I can totally see that. That would bug me. Yeah. Or I'm just gonna combine my last two because like one of them is part of being like an organizational freak, but one of my quirks is since 2011 I've been written down every movie I've watched. So in the last 11 years, I know exactly which movies I've watched, which is kind of like that binder where I write down everything is like worth. That has so much value to me. I'd pay like $10,000 for it because it's like literally. I need to photocopy it, Eric. I have like one copy of it. But okay, cool. But my actual next one is for 10 years straight. I ate Cheerios every single morning, probably from 2000, probably since right after high school till like when I moved out by myself. Cheerios every morning, like clockwork. Didn't matter if there was another breakfast, like going out for breakfast, I'd have a bowl of Cheerios right before, a couple hours before. So, huge Cheerio fan.
Still are, or like has that been nipped in the bud?
It's been nipped in the bud, Eric.
Yeah. For health reasons, anyway, we no need to pry here. But I also want to ask, like, regular whole grain. Honey Nut Cheerios, apple cinnamon. What are we talking here? Anything goes, or?
I'm not a psychopath, so definitely not the normal ones.
That would have been hilarious.
Honey and nut for sure.
Okay, nice. Yeah, just plain Cheerios would have been a questionable call. But no, Honey Nut, like, that's a top tier. If we're ever doing a cereal draft episode, like, that's going in the first round. But for you, for sure. But so my last one is just something like, I guess I don't know if it's a quirk or OCDism, but I just put it down here. Is like always like an almost need to keep busy at all times. Like very rarely do I ever just chill.
Okay.
Like you won't catch me often just sitting around not doing anything. Like I'm always doing something, thinking of something, watching something, listening to something. Like I almost always listen to a pod or music when I do anything. So that eliminates just sitting and I don't know, just not doing much. And yeah, like I have a lot of hobbies, so there's always something to keep me busy. And yeah, it's like a few weeks ago, I just chilled one day, like in bed all day, and Andy was like, "Who are you? Like, this isn't you." Like, it's just a complete 180 for my character to just be like not doing anything, and it felt great. I was like kind of hungover, but also just yeah, out of character, but felt good. But for the most part, like I always need to be doing something. Gift and a
Awesome.
curse.
I yeah, I have a twinge of that too, Eric. I understand. Like I can't just sit still anymore, especially with my phone in my hand. Like yeah, I always have to be like multitasking. So yeah, that's a good one, Eric. I relate to that. Yeah,
All right, so yeah, those are
I
our.
believe now. Yeah,
Yeah, I
go
was just
ahead,
gonna
Eric.
say. So our last segment now is our will also be our draw for some custom
Yeah,
Easy Conversations merch for episode 100, of course. So we did an Ask Me Anything. So for the listeners to submit questions, and then we'll answer them on the spot. So the first one we got was from my cousin Dan. He said, "Talk about your greatest memory in China." So this would, I believe, only be geared to me. That's Matt. You've got a
yeah,
secret China
oh yeah.
trip in the holster, but I did go to China in 2012 for my grad trip, and that was the first time that I went on a major trip outside of North America. Like I'd been to resorts and stuff and to the States before, but yeah, that was a big one. A lot of stories that came to mind. Like obviously, Great Wall of China is always the first thing I think of when I think of China. Like that's the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life. Like in terms of like just nature and then man built scenery. It's unbelievable. But I have a couple. One was like we went to Shanghai, Beijing, and then these two, which I forget the names, villages, which were really cool because that was more like authentic China. I want to say like in the mountains and all that. It was really cool, and we went on these wooden rafts down a massive river. And honestly, it made me think of Fellowship of the Ring when they're on the river, the Andurin River, I think is what it's called, something like that. And then there's these massive mountains around us and forest like setting. Like I filmed some of this stuff back in the day on like a digital camera. I gotta dig up this footage and do something with it. And that was really cool. Like we also went down like on this river, a little waterfall. Like it was very, very small there. Like it was just like a little dip down the waterfall. If it was a big fall, like it would have been very dangerous. But that was really cool. I just wish I remember where it was. Like I don't know the name off the top, but that's it was a very cool moment. And we were up in the mountains too. Like it was one of my profile pictures on Facebook is me up there. I was trying to like pose and look cool there. Um, it's a pretty funny picture. And yeah, so that would be mine for sure. Like a lot of others there, but
Awesome.
yeah.
I,
Next question, we got similar questions from two people. So the first one was from Andy and Curtis as well. They both asked the same question: is what is your favorite moment from doing the first 100 episodes? And Andy's was actually specifically favorite episode to record. So I think they're similar. Let's go with that way. Like favorite moment and favorite episode, I think is similar. So let's loop them together. Matt, I'll throw it over to you first. Favorite episode to record.
oh, and I'm gonna be forgetting. Like I thought about this a lot, and I'm gonna probably be forgetting one of my favorite, like some favorite moments. But I'll always remember the episode where we recorded it. You were at your parents, and I walked over there to record in person pre-COVID, and you had Bassam and Curtis there, and I had met them. The episode where we did our comedy, the comedy episode, right? Like
Yeah.
top five comedies.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was great. I felt like we were all like, I feel like that's one of our strong. That's the episode I recommend a lot actually
Mm.
to people. Um, yeah, I loved everything about that. Just like getting to your house and like the setups there, and we're all there. Like that was awesome, Eric.
That was a
I'm sorry
classic
if I like.
episode.
Yeah, right, isn't it? So I'll always look fondly back. I'll always look back fondly on that episode.
Yeah, no, me too. I love that episode. That was one of the first ones where you were like on the cusp of, if not officially on the pod as full time co-host at that point. So yeah, that
My
was a
audition.
great one for sure. There's a ton of episodes, honestly, and this might sound rigged, but the episode with Andy is like one of my favorites, to be honest. Like recording, getting her on the pod too is like I asked her a lot of times to come on, and when she finally did, like that's one that a lot of people also messaged me about, and like it was the like Zach was away. He was in Rochester back then, and I remember him listening to it and saying like, oh, like because we laughed a lot in the episode, and a lot of people did say like, oh, like a lot of giggles in that one, and it was just really fun like with her, and I thought it was a great conversation, a good topic, social media and society. Great episode 18. Check it out. Yeah, it's one of my favorites, and my favorite episode to record. Getting Andy on there. I want to get her on again, so we'll see if we can get a round 2 in 2023. But there's like yeah, so many great episodes and moments.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the next one was from the homie Justin Mochtinger. So his question was, what are you looking forward to the most in 2023? It's tough to say. Like there's a lot. I think a lot of things coming in 2023. 2022 is a big year, right? Like, well, for myself, I had 3 trips, so tough to top that. But I think there are, like, there's going to be more big things to come. Most looking forward to. I don't know. What about you, Matt? Do you have an answer?
Yeah, like I thought a lot about this too. 2022 was probably the biggest year of my life. It was the first year of my 30s. What I learned in 2022, what I've learned in the last year, is more than I've learned like in the last 9 or 10 combined. Like I'm not gonna be like they got a big reality check on like what living is actually like, but I learned so much about like what doing things for other people means, and like how it makes me feel, and growing a relationship, getting a home. Like I've done so much in the last year in terms of that, like being more independent. Um, it's been like life altering for me, and I just want for 2023 to just see that flourish even more and learn new things, and like feel different feelings that I didn't know I felt, like that I felt this year. Like they're gonna evolve and get even better, I guess. So that's what I'm hoping, and that's what I know will happen. So just keep on growing as a person, as an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like that's basically what I was struggling to communicate as well. Like that's what I'm looking forward to the most is like everything that's to come, and like that we don't really know either, right? Like, and saying that one of my OCD isms slash quirks is like wanting things to go a specific way. I also don't want everything mapped out specifically in life. Like, it's mostly for like specific things that are happening right now that I want things like plans and stuff, but like long term plans and just events to come. Like I'm excited for everything that's to come next year, and I think another big year. Like so far, like I agree with you too. 2022 has been one of the biggest and best years of my life as well. So many great things that have happened, and I'm looking forward to seeing those things continue to grow next year, which I think and know they will as well.
Awesome.
So the next one is from Taunt Mary. Hers was, how about if you could get any movie or musical star on the podcast? Who would it be? It's a great question.
Yeah,
Do you have an
I
answer,
thought a
Matt?
lot about this too. Obviously, I do have answers. Like I'm thinking, like we don't want a celebrity to come on and be like a dick or blow us off. So like I'm thinking we have to pick someone that's like personable and would actually like want to talk to us. And I honestly, I'd want to get Ryan Reynolds on our podcast.
It's a
We
great
have a
answer.
small connection with him. He lived in Vanier. Like that could be our in. Like we start off with that. Like, oh, where did like talk about Ottawa and stuff, and then we talk about he loves like a lot of things, movies, like games, like sports. Like he's very knowledgeable. Very seems like such a cool guy to talk to. So like I'd bring someone like Ryan Reynolds, someone with personality.
It's a great
but I think
pick.
he'd be perfect.
Also,
Yeah,
might end
that's
up
my
being a
pick.
minority owner of our favorite our franchise. Oh
Right.
my God, might end up being a minority
Hockey.
owner of our the Ottawa Senators. So
Yeah.
that's a great answer. Um, I don't know, to be honest. Like the first thing I thought of was like actor that I would want would be someone who is I've seen a lot of these videos on YouTube, which are the actors roundtables. If anyone's seen
Right.
them, you know what I'm talking about. And if not, I strongly recommend. They get a bunch of um, great actors and get them around a table and they just talk about life and stuff. And I've watched quite a few of these. And the actors on there are always super insightful and they come off as very wise and interesting people. And this might be a crazy name to throw out there for myself because I've only seen this guy in like two movies. But I do think, based on seeing him in that Actors Roundtable and what he's going to be in down the road, I feel like Jonathan Majors would be a very interesting person to get on here. Up and coming actor. And if you've seen this guy in interviews, very smart dude and just cool. You only hear good things about him. I just thought of this off the top. There's for sure better names, but that's what I'm going with. I'm also very pumped and excited to see him as Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. So that's we could cash in on the recent success of Creed 3 as well. That'd be my pick right now.
All right. I like it.
Um, but yeah, first choice would be Ryan Reynolds. Like I like your idea for sure. Then the last question we got was from Mart. His was, "Is the new Avatar finally coming out? What are your expectations?" I've long said until I finally see it, I won't believe that it's coming out, but I'm pretty sure it's coming out in December. So
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah.
I am excited to see it. To be honest, I feel like the stakes are kind of high. People are expecting it to be a great movie. Will it live up to the hype? I think it will. I think because it has so much to lose, James Cameron will have taken every precaution to ensure that it doesn't lose and that it is a smash hit. So yeah, I'm expecting it to be a very good movie. What about you, Matt?
I'm expecting it to be a very good movie too. It's gonna be a good movie. Like it's gonna be huge when it comes out, but now we're kind of desensitized to movies like Avatar. It was a novelty when it came out in 2009. 2009, we hadn't seen anything like it. Now there's these big action spectacles. There's like a new Avatar every year. It's just called like Avengers: Infinity War or the next big thing, Star Wars. Like we've
Mm.
seen a lot of big blockbusters like that, so we're gonna be a little more used to seeing an Avatar-esque movie. Um, But yeah, those are my thoughts. Like, it's not gonna blow us out of the water like the first one,
No pun
and
intended.
that only blew us out of the water because we hadn't seen that stuff done before.
Hmm.
Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, no,
But
that's
more to
totally
come on.
fair.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, thanks everybody for the submissions. So now we're gonna spin on over to the draw, which I've actually compiled everyone's names into a wheel, which I'll
Nice.
be pulling up now. Where's this wheel? Wheel of names. Oh no, I don't need to do this. Okay. Um, all right. So Matt, you won't be able to see this actually, but if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that there's now a wheel that has popped up on the video, and I'm going to spin it, and that will tell us who the winner is for. All right, Justin, congratulations on
Nice.
winning the draw. Very happy for you. You've often submitted questions and answers to our questions, and
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, congrats, Justin. Well deserved, and we'll be in touch. Let us know what you want. We said it'd be custom, so whatever you want. If you want like a hoodie, T-shirt, I don't know what else there is. Honestly, long sleeve,
Puzzle. Yeah.
mug. You know, we got mugs on deck as well. Let us know, and we'll be in touch. So yeah, congrats again. And yeah, thanks a lot, everybody, for participating in the draw. Let's move this wheel now. Now we'll hop over into our final segment, which we do every episode now, random recommendations. I actually have a ton of stuff that I've watched recently, so I don't know if we'll get into all of them, but I do want to talk about the first one, which is on Crave. Oh no, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Christopher Nolan's movie Tenet. I finally got around to watching that. Very confusing movie, as I was expecting. Honestly, I watched with subtitles. Um, no spoilers, but there were some. Like I watched a YouTube Tenet explained video, and it confused me even more. There are some crazy leaps being made here as to
Yeah.
who certain characters are supposed to be and how anyone would make those assumptions correctly. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it to see if I pick up on stuff. I was a big fan of Robert Pattinson though. He was really good in the movie. John David Washington was pretty solid too. Like he's kind of charismatic but not super, but he was good. Um, I'm ashamed to say I didn't recognize Kenneth Branagh.
Rana.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know that was him in the movie. I think it was the Russian accent. I guess that threw me off. But when I looked up the cast after and I saw his name was high, I was like, "What? He was in this?" Um, yeah, it was entertaining movie for sure. A little long, but it did have a lot of good action, and I do like that it was an original concept, like moving in reverse in time, but very confusing. Like, what were your thoughts on Tenet, Matt?
My thoughts was I liked watching it, but I feel no need to like go back and figure it out. Like my mom after the movie was trying to like dissect it. I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I cared that much.
Yeah.
But I was following the movie up until like the point with the two like hallway scenes and the car chase, and then the movie completely lost me. So for about an hour I was just scratching my head in the theater, which never happened. So I don't think I like that feeling.
Right.
I do owe it a rewatch though. Honestly, I do. I can't just judge it on one watch. It's all about the second watch. So
It's true.
yeah.
It's on Netflix, so check it if you want to revisit.
I I only have one movie, Eric. I like slammed at work the last 2 weeks. But did you want to go ahead before I do mine?
Sure.
Another one,
Yeah,
or?
sure.
Okay.
Um, well, I watched two of the movies from this franchise. I rewatched Black Panther, and I went to see Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Is that the movie that you were gonna say?
No, actually,
No.
I haven't had the time to go to the theater. Might not be till a couple weeks actually. But no, I'm curious. Like
Okay.
the second one, like what'd you think?
Yeah, I really liked it. It was my favorite Marvel movie of this year for sure. It and like we said, we knew that it had to deliver. In my opinion, it did. I know some people who didn't love it as much as me, but the more I think about it, the more I liked it, and I really like what they did with the movie. Like it's a very emotional movie. I was expecting it to be, but it was even more so than I thought it was gonna be. So
Wow.
very well done by the Ryan Coogler, the director, cast and crew. They all did a great job. Great performances, like Letitia Wright and Angela Bassett particularly killed it. Yeah, it was a good movie, and I would like to see it again. I don't know if I'll go see it again in theaters, to be honest, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it holds up on rewatch because Love and Thunder not as good on rewatch. Doctor Strange kind of the same, but I rank Wakanda Forever above both of them for sure. Like, there's no way this movie on rewatch is worse than Love and Thunder. There's no way. Completely different
Right.
movies, and a sign that they should be making movies more like this. And obviously, this is like an impossible feat, and wouldn't want all movies to be as emotional there. But maybe ease up on the jokes all the time and pump some more serious content is what I would recommend. Which it looks like Ant-Man and the Wasp. If you've seen the trailer, which I have, and went against my own rule, it does look like it's going to be more serious. Which, like stuff, it should get darker in the MCU now. Like it can't always be good times out
Yeah.
here. So, no, Black Panther, really good movie. And Black Panther 1 is so good. Like it's 100% top 5 Marvel movie in my books. No questions asked.
All right, I'm really excited to watch it now. I was before, but now I really am. Like, we're gonna talk about it some more. Basically, I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll jump into the movie I watched. Um, I have like I want to save I don't want to rattle movies all night, but okay. So the movie I watched, it's a war movie on Netflix called All Quiet on the Western Front. The German movie that came out this year. It's a remake of actually they did a couple of remakes. It's based on a book, and the movie's been remade twice. The movie's been adapted twice already. This is like the third adaptation. It's a German perspective in World War I of a soldier, young 17-year-old soldier with his buddies. It's a very much an anti-war movie. It's not like Hacksaw Ridge or Saving Private Ryan or any of those great action war movies. This is more of a character study, what this person goes through in the trenches, his transformation. The movie sometimes feels episodic. It's not moving from scene to scene. It's showing them now, them in 9 months later. It's cutting back and forth. Okay. Very European thing to do actually in cinema. I loved the movie. I thought it was super powerful. Some scenes were hard to watch, Eric. I had to I stopped the movie at one point. I watched it in 2 parts because I was like, okay, this is getting intense. I need to get to bed now and just digest what I've seen. Really gory and shocking war images basically. So yeah, I recommend the movie a lot. It's not going to be for everyone. It's not an action-packed, super fast-paced movie. It's just a solid drama, very anti-war message.
Okay.
But yeah, that's All Quiet on the Western Front on Netflix. I would watch it, Eric. I think it's really great.
Okay, I've heard of it. I've seen people talk about it on Twitter, so I'll definitely add it to the list, 100%.
Yeah.
I have a few others, movies. I'm not done watching this, but I'm gonna finish it just because I do want to see where it ends up going, which apparently is not that good. It's Don't Worry, Darling. Have you seen this, Matt?
I have not.
My guy Harry Styles' stock is going down. There's some tough acting in here.
Okay.
Every scene, it's a different accent. Alice, we have to get out of here. And it's all right, so we're having steaks for dinner or what? It's just all over the place. British to American to Missouri. I don't even know what's going on. But some pretty poor chops in there. Yeah, it's not that good so far, and I've only heard negative things, but I do want to finish it. So I don't know. It's not a recommendation. I'm just sharing that I'm watching this. But what I would recommend, though, is a show called Workaholics. It's on Crave. Hilarious show. Super funny. It's with Adam Devine, and 2 other guys. I don't know their names. But they're 3 buddies, and they just do dumb stuff and a lot of pranks. And it's a stupid comedy show, but it's very funny. And I would definitely recommend if you're looking for a lighthearted show to have some laughs. I've only seen the first 3 episodes, but I'm really enjoying it so far.
Nice. Yeah, I heard someone at work was a big fan of this show, and he's like, "Yeah, you should watch it." I'm like, I would if I had time to watch all these amazing shows, but
there is a lot.
It's 30-minute episodes.
Yeah, less than that. It's 21 minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
It's a Tales of the Jedi episode.
Speaking of TV, I haven't been watching any shows right now. I really want to get back into Andor, but I don't know. I've just been burned out. I've been so busy doing winter prep stuff. Oh, you know what? I'll just mention it quickly. I did watch Werewolf by Night.
Okay, what did you think?
Loved it.
Let's go.
Phenomenal.
Let's go.
I was glued to I watched it in bed late one night on my phone. I was glued to my phone. It was awesome.
Nice.
Love the style. Yeah, good, amazing recommendation, Eric.
Okay, nice, thanks. Well, I thought you would like it, to be honest. Did they not have a lot of homages to old school horror in there?
100%.
Yeah.
You were dead on with your review of it, basically.
Yeah. I was a huge fan of the Ted. I thought he looked very cool. It was a very well done, well made practical effects creature. Yeah. Really good. And the violence, man, did I not say? It's definitely some stuff that we haven't seen in Marvel before.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, good.
You were dead on.
Glad you enjoyed it. I have one more show that I'm only 2 episodes in out of 6 for the first season. It's called The White Lotus. Have you heard of this, Matt?
I have.
Yeah. So far, there's nothing crazy going on. It's they're just introducing the setting and the context of it all. a lot of good actors and actresses in there, like Alexandra Daddario, Connie Britton. There's who else? The guy who plays Plop in The Office is in it. A few others I don't know their names off the Sydney Sweeney's in it actually. So no,
I
it's
heard that.
pretty solid cast, and yeah, it's a good show. Well, okay, actually, hold up. It's I'm interested to see where it goes because not much has happened, but they're teeing something up in how all these people at a resort are gonna like storylines are gonna converge. Right, the White Lotus is basically a resort that people stay at, like very exclusive, rich, high society. And all these people have their own little backgrounds and conflicts that they're dealing with, like whether it be a newlywed couple, a very wealthy family, a single woman, and they're all going to converge in one way because they're all starting to interact together now. And I don't know where it's going to go. I hope it goes somewhere good. I'll definitely keep you posted. I will finish this show. I know I've said a bunch of shows and I haven't even finished them, but this one I will follow through with. So yeah, White Lotus. HBO, and they got very good reviews, so it is a reputable show.
Nice.
I have three more things that are not movie related. They're very easy, small tidbits. Okay. The first one is personally, I'm just trying to swear less. So whenever I have the urge to drop an F-bomb, I just dial it in, you know? That was very hard to do in my hockey game where we lost 7-4 last night, but it's different rules on the ice. But in general, in real life, I'm just trying to tone it down. I feel like that's just something I'm sharing with the listeners that maybe recommendation. Try to, if and when possible, swear less. Next thing, smile more. So swear less, smile more. I find that whenever I'm just doing something or maybe doing nothing, out of character, I know. And I just notice that my face is just like in some sort of resting, like just no smile situation. I'll just smile and then I just feel a little better. And like you're being conscious of, not that you always need to be smiling, but it's just an instant mood uplifter, I think. And yeah, a good practice to put into effect.
Yeah, you don't want to have like the resting male bitch face all the time, right?
Exactly.
Like, not that you have that, Eric.
You said it.
But like, you smile in public at work. Absolutely, you're great. You said you had one more tidbit.
Yeah, I've gotten big time back into the orange game. You know, blood, navel, tangerine, you name it, I'm in it, and it's vitamin C intake. Very good snack. I would recommend oranges to the people. 'Tis the season, I believe, and just a nice little a boost.
All right.
Yeah.
I hate oranges. So.
Well, to the others who can tolerate the oranges, get back on it. Would recommend.
All right.
So that's it.
Nice.
That's all I got.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't have much. I'm gonna have more the next time we do this for sure.
Counting on it. But it's all good. I'll come up with other stuff like oranges and swear less if need be. So yeah, episode 100 in the books.
Wow.
Any final notes, Matt?
Yeah, it's a crazy episode tonight. Like we've talked about I feel like we could have talked about so much more too. Like elaborated on some of the stuff. But this was just like a little appetizer episode on like the segments we did. Little recap of the year. No, thank you everyone that's been with us so far. Thank you, congrats to Justin, our winner of the draw, and thank you everyone who submitted a question and who's listened. I just want to say thank you. It means a lot to me, and hope you're having a great time right now. And just thank you.
100%. Thanks a lot, everybody, for listening. Stay tuned for episodes dropping every 2 Mondays. Continue to stay safe. Love you all. And yeah, peace. Congrats again, Justin.